Hello everyone, you're welcome once again to another English language class. Today in our lesson, we'll be looking at sentence building on reported speech. Sentence building on reported speech. We know what sentence building is all about. That is bringing a group of words together to express idea, thoughts, or opinion. Okay, that's sentence. But when we talk about reported speech, first we need to look at what direct speech is, or try to recall what it is, because I know we have dealt on that in our previous learning. Direct speech is like the opposite of reported or indirect speech. So first, let's look at what direct speech is, or remind ourselves of what direct speech is, because it has been handled earlier. So when we say direct speech, it simply means someone reporting the exact words of another person. When someone is reporting what someone said and is using the exact words of that person, saying what somebody else said using the exact words of that person. That's what direct speech is about. Using the exact words, or reporting something using the exact words of the person that spoke those words. That's what direct speech is. An example of direct speech is, she said, I am coming. Now, the person saying she said I'm coming is definitely not the one that said this, I am coming. The person saying this now is reporting what this person said, but is using the exact words of this she. This she is the person that spoke these words, okay? And then the person saying this now is reporting what this she said. She said, I am coming. And if you notice, you will see what we call speech marks, at the beginning and the end of the sentence, I am coming, to show that these are the exact words that were spoken by the speaker, who is not the one reporting this sentence right now, or reporting these words right now. These were the exact words used by this she. Now someone else is saying it, but is using the exact words of this she. This is exactly what she said. I am coming. So someone else is now saying, she said, I am coming. Okay? So that is what we call direct speech, using the exact words that the person used. Okay? But then when we come to reported speech is the same as indirect speech. In some context, they use the word indirect speech, but here we are using reported speech. Okay, when we come to reported speech, it is saying what the person said, but using your own words. You rephrasing what the person said, if I may use that word. Okay, you are saying what the she said, but you are not using the exact words that she used. In this instance, she used the exact words, I am coming. So the reporter said, she said, I am coming. The reporter used the exact words of the she. But in the case of reported speech, the reporter does not use the exact words of the speaker. The reporter doesn't use the exact words that the person used. The reporter changes some things, but still conveys the message, or still retains the message of what is being said, or what has been said. Now this direct speech, she said, I am coming, in reported speech would look like this. She said that she was coming. She said that she was coming. Now note, this that is very important when you are converting from direct speech to indirect speech. When you are getting rid of these speech marks, this that is very important, because it features in most words when they are being converted from direct speech to reported speech. She said that she was coming. That is the reported speech. This person now is not using the exact words. The person only said, I am coming. But this person is now reporting it and using different words, but still retaining the message. She said that she was coming. Okay, we're going to look at some other examples okay, before we focus on our reported speech. Okay, so the next example we have here is for the direct speech. Okay, subsequently we'll just be using DS for direct speech and ROS for reported speech. Okay, so for the direct speech, we have an example here. The teacher said, then you have the speech mark, I like reading. The teacher said, I like reading. Now someone is reporting what the teacher said, but using the exact words of the teacher. Using the exact words of the teacher. So the reporter is saying what the teacher said. I like reading, exactly the way the teacher said it. Now, if it is going to be in reported speech, okay, it's going to be the teacher said that he or she, you can see I put an S outside of the bracket, it could be a she, could be a he. The teacher said that he liked reading. Please take note. The teacher said that he or she liked reading. Now, if you look at the first example that we consider, you could tell that the first part, so in that first example of the direct speech, we had, she said, I am coming. Okay, remember when we changed it to reported speech, it became, she said that she was coming. Am there changed to was, past tense. Okay, that, like I mentioned, is very important. She said that she was coming. That was the first one. Now note again, the teacher said, I like reading. If you look at the exact words here in speech marks, is in present tense form. Okay, I like reading, that's present tense. But then when it is reported, it changes to the past tense form. It changes to past tense. So that's why you have the teacher. The teacher said that she liked, with a D, reading. If you convert it and you write the like without the D, that would be very wrong. Because this person saying it now is saying it after the teacher had already said it. Just trying to explain why the verb changes tense. Okay, from present to past tense. It changes tense because by the time this person is reporting it, the thing has already happened. Okay, so it's either you use the exact words of the speaker, place it in the context that the speaker used it, like as at the time it is happening or when it is reported is going on. Or if you're going to change the words, if you're not going to use the exact words, then it has to be placed in the past tense because this has already happened. So the teacher said that she or he liked reading. So there's something I'm going to point out, the rules I'm going to point out to us. But first, I just want us to take a third example, and then we look at the rules that we use, or the rules that apply when we are converting direct speeches to reported speeches. There are rules that are followed, okay, in this. So here is a third example. The direct speech says, my friend said, we are going to the park tomorrow. My friend said, you see the speech mark, we are going to the park tomorrow, and then the speech mark is there again to close up the speech. Okay, so in reported speech, these are the exact words of the friend of this reporter. Okay, the friend, these are the exact words the friend used. We are going to the park tomorrow. Now, when reporting it without using the exact words of this person, the friend here, the speech is going to read like, my friend said that, remember I mentioned is very important. My friend said that they, please take note, we has changed to they, because in the first sentence, the direct speech, the reporter, the friend here is referring to himself and some other people as the we. But mind you, the person reporting this speech is not in that group, is not in that category. So it is going to refer to that group of we now as they. Okay? So it becomes, the we here becomes they, because it's not a part of the group. My friend said that they were. Again, the present tense are here changes to the past tense were. Because where is the past tense of are? Now let me just quickly mention this, that if you write, my friend said that they would be going to the park the next day, you will still be correct. Okay? Because would there is taking the past tense form of will. We will go to the park tomorrow. We will be going to the park tomorrow. If you say we're going to the park tomorrow, you can also read as we will be going to the park tomorrow. So if you write, my friend said that they would be going to the park the next day, is still correct. Okay? So my friend said that they were, are, we changes to they, are changes to were. Going to the park the next day. Another important thing to note. The next day. Now remember, the event, the time this thing happened or the time this speech was made is not when the reporter is reporting it now, right? It was reported in the past. It could have been a different day entirely, okay? So whenever you are changing direct speech to reported speech, tomorrow always changes to the next day. Tomorrow changes to the next day. Yesterday changes to the previous day. Okay, maybe we should just take one example showing yesterday so that we see how it changes. Okay, but please take note. We changed today here, are changed to where, tomorrow changed to the next day. My friend said we are going to the park tomorrow. My friend said that they were going to the park the next day. Okay? So for this is the exact translation when changed to reported speech. Now if it is my friend said we will be going to the park tomorrow, then the exact reported speech would be my friend said that they would be going to the park the next day. Okay, please take note of these changes. We're going to write out the rules. We'll write out the rules definitely, but please take note of these sentences. Or maybe I should have written out the rules for you first and then the sentences, but it's the same thing. Take note of the sentences, write them down, and then when the rules come, you just see how they apply in the sentences as the direct speeches change to reported speeches. Okay, so I'll just take one more example on something that had to do with yesterday, so you see how that changes. All right, so the next example here is for direct speech. Adams said, I did not go to work yesterday. Adams said, again, you see the direct speech, the speech marks, okay? Adams said, I did not go to work yesterday. Those were the exact words that Adam used. Now, that same thing is going to be said now in reported speech as Adam said that he did not go to work. Now, look at it. The I here, which stands for, the I here, remember, is a pronoun for Adam because these are Adam's words. These are Adam's words. Now, because someone else is saying the words now, reporting the words, the I there will become he. Because this one now will be referring to Adam as he. This person reporting now is not Adam. Okay? Neither is he using Adam's exact words. So I here changes to he. Adam said that he did. You can see that did is retained. Why? Because when Adam used the word, it was already in the past tense. So the did retains its past tense form. What Adam was reporting was something already in the past. Okay, so it just some other things that will change. The main verb here is still remaining in the past tense form. Adam said that he did not go to work the previous day. Here you find out that yesterday changes to the previous day. Okay, you know, like the previous sentence, tomorrow changed to the next day. Yesterday here changes to the previous day. So Adam said that he did not go to work the previous day. So I changed to he, and yesterday changed to the previous day. So please take note, pronouns change. You know, anyway, we're going to look at the rules, but just take note of the pronouns. The pronouns change when you are converting direct speech to reported speech. The verb tenses, they change. Verb tense changes, pronoun changes. Time also. There are also situations where the time or place expression has to change. For instance, yesterday changing to the next day, and then yesterday changing to the previous day, and tomorrow changing to the next day. So those are some things you need to put into consideration when you are converting from direct speech to reported speech. Very important, because without those changes being made when you are converting, your reported speech will not be correct. It will never be correct. So next, we're going to look at the rules that we need to apply when we're converting direct speech to reported speech. So we're going to look at the basic rules that we need to observe when we're changing direct speech to indirect speech. There are some basic rules that apply, okay? And we're going to look at those rules. And once you get a hang of these rules, converting direct speech to indirect speech will be a very simple task for you, okay? I don't know if I mentioned it before we went into the lesson proper, but it's very important, you know, to have an understanding of this reported speech, because it is used a lot. It's a common thing, like when you're telling stories, it features a lot. And then even in dailies like newspapers and magazines and stuff like that, you come across reported speeches a lot. So it's very important, because apart from the fact that you could become a writer or something, there will definitely be instances, even in spoken words, when you are saying things to people, narrating events or telling someone what happened. In fact, this is something we use every day, because you talk to someone, you try to say what someone else said and stuff like that. So it's very important we understand the rules that guide the conversion of direct speeches to indirect or reported speeches, so that we can use these words correctly, or translate or report whatever people say correctly. Now, the first rule we're looking at here says that verb tenses change. Verb tenses change. Now, if you look at the first example we considered, she said, "I am coming." That's the direct speech. Let me just pause a little and say something here, please. Like when I wrote those sentences as examples, I expected that you would copy them out somewhere in your notes. Okay? You copy them out somewhere in your notes. And now that we are looking at the rules, we just need to go back to the examples we gave. You know, I'll be pointing out things from those examples that we cited. It's very important. If you haven't done that, if you haven't been doing that, please, I enjoin you. For this lesson, this particular lesson, you can play it over again and then try to write out those examples we gave, okay? So that now we're looking at the rules, or if it's later when you're watching the video, you'll be able to pin the rules to the applications, the examples that we gave, okay? So the first one here says verb tenses change. Now, looking back at the first example we used, the direct speech was, she said, "I am coming." She said, "I am coming." I am coming is in present tense form. But then the reported speech was, she said that she was coming. So there we see that am in the present tense form changed to was, past tense. So that's what this number 1 rule is saying, that verb tenses change when we are reporting speeches. Okay, when it is reported speech, not using the exact words of the speaker, we are using indirect speech, or we are using reported speech. Okay, so the verb tense changes from present tense to past tense. Okay, then the next one here says pronouns change. For example, I changes to he or she. I changes to he or she. That first example again, if we go back to it, the reported speech read something like, she said that. Instead of I am, it became she was. She said that she was coming. So that I there changed to she, and the am changed to was. So the am, we have already looked at it in the rule number 1 of verb tenses changing. And then the I changing to she is what this rule number 2 is talking about. Pronouns, they change. That is, I changes to he or she, depending on who the speaker is, the person that spoke the original words. If the person is a male, it changes to he. If the person is a female, it changes to she. Okay, so the third rule here says time and place may change. Now, it depends on the place being mentioned or the time. In some cases, they change. For example, the example we looked at, the third one that said, my friend said, we are going to the park tomorrow. My friend said, we are going to the park tomorrow. That tomorrow, remember, changed in the reported speech to the next day. We couldn't use, my friend said that they were going to the park tomorrow. A lot of people make that mistake, My friend said that they were going to the park tomorrow. No, it couldn't be tomorrow anymore, because the time of this reporting could be any time not close to when this thing was said. So the best way to say it is, my friend said that they were going to the park the next day. Now, we also saw the fourth example that talked about yesterday. I could not go to work yesterday. Now that changed to he could not go to work the previous day. So yesterday changed to the previous day. Though it's not in all cases that the time and place changes, or the time and place change, but they do change sometimes depending on the time, the context, and all of that. So whenever you are reporting speeches, you have to check some of these things and ensure that as much as possible you are following these rules. Okay, now in verb tenses changing, we do not always encounter simple present tense, and this simple present tense changing to simple past tense. You may encounter some other ones that have a little twist to them, like the person that said, yesterday I did not go to work. Did already is in the past tense. Okay, so in that case, that did retains the past tense form, and then you just make slight changes to the time or the place. Okay, like yesterday changing to the previous day, and then the I there changing to he, depending on who the speaker is, whether it's a male, and she if it's a female. Okay, there's an example I tried to give with the first one on present tense still. Assuming the person says, we will be going. We will be going is like future continuous tense. Okay, so we just used present tense like a broad term now to cover all of that. But there could also be something like future continuous tense or future tense. We will do this, we will be doing this. Okay, so when you want to change all of that, remember in our previous lessons we learned about the present tense and the past tense of all these verbs, these helping verbs. Like can, for instance, the past tense of it is cooled. Will, the past tense of it is would. So if somebody says, for instance, we will be going to the park tomorrow, When you are reporting that speech, it should read like this. He said that they would be going to the park the next day. That will change to would. He said that they would be going to the park the next day, and the tomorrow changes to the next day. So please just take note of these rules and try to go over our previous lessons, okay? Because we learned some things about how these tenses change, the modal verbs and all of that. They are all important because the way the curriculum is structured is such that everything you learn, by the time you are learning the next thing, you need the previous learning as your foundation. You need the knowledge from that previous learning to be able to comprehend the new stuff that you are learning. Okay, that's how it's structured. It's like laying bricks upon bricks when you are building. So please try to go over our previous lessons so that you be able to do proper conversion when you are changing direct speech to indirect speech. So these are the three basic rules that we'll be exploring for conversion of direct speech to reported speech. I'll encourage us to try as much as possible, lay our hands on storybooks, even newspapers, because you guys will soon be going to senior school or secondary school. You'll soon be going to secondary school, so challenge yourselves. Get some newspapers, magazines, storybooks, and look out for these words. Anywhere you see maybe direct speech, just try to apply these rules to convert such direct speeches to reported speeches. Just do them, and then maybe when you have a reported speech, for instance, just try and see if you can convert it back to direct speech. Okay, so maybe let me just give one example of how to convert reported speech back to direct speech. I'll just give us an example. Okay, so I'll just quickly give us an example of how we can also try to convert reported speech to direct speech. Though that's not a focus for the lesson, but just giving you this so that when you lay your hands on materials, you try to convert direct speech to indirect or reported speech. You can also do it the other way around, converting reported speech to direct speech. So here is an example of a reported speech. It says the head teacher said that her students did not come to school that day. The head teacher said that her students did not come to school that day. Someone is apparently is clearly saying what the head teacher said, not reporting them with the exact words of the head teacher, but saying what the head teacher said. Now this is the direct speech where we get to hear what exactly the head teacher said. The exact words of the head teacher. It says, the head teacher said, my students did not come to school today. My students did not come to school today. The head teacher said that her students did not come to school that day. So that day, today becomes that day because it's definitely on a different day that this is being reported. Okay? Except that that day refers to a day something happened, maybe something peculiar happened or an event occurred. In that situation, the direct speech would be what day exactly the head teacher referred to, because looking at the reported speech, that day could be either today in the words of the head teacher, or it could be a special day in question. Okay, so this is just a basic example of how you convert reported speech to direct speech. So please, like I said, try and lay your hands on materials, do as much practice as possible, and I wish you the very best. Okay, so I hope to see you again next week. Stay blessed and stay safe.